Hi, friends. I'm waiting for folks to log in and join me. Hi, friends. Waiting for folks. Hi, Staley. How are you? Okay, I'm going to get my screen situated here. Giving this just a sec for folks to come in. I went away for a minute. Sorry. Oh, Lord, this whole thing. Goodness gracious. Okay, hold on. Let me fix my views here. Okay, hi, Gail. Nice to see you. Oh, Staley and just got home from Disney, so I'm super jealous. I'm good. I'm just trying to juggle all of these screens. And Lisa, hi. How are you? My Aunt Tina is on. Hello, Noonie. Okay, so let's see if I can get this going here. Hopefully, by the time I get this figured out, everybody else will be joined in. I need to figure out how to get both my YouTube comments and this screen going up at the same time. Maybe I have it here. Can everybody hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me so I don't panic. Fingers crossed. Okay, yay, Kimberly, thank you. Sound check, 1, 2, 3. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna get started here. And first thing I'm gonna share is, all clear. The first thing I'm gonna share is this screen here. This is my desktop. Okay, thank you. You guys are awesome. The reason why I'm showing you my desktop is because I found out today that and sorry, I'm looking at my screen, so I'm side profile. Hi, Joy. The reason why I'm sharing this is because I found out today when I went to upload our SVG that we're going to be working on that you cannot download or you cannot upload SVG files to Facebook. So I had to find a workaround. And the workaround is I have to name the SVG, the file name .svgg. And then you'll have to go in once you download it and rename it .svg. There's a few different ways you can do that, and I included some tutorial links in the PDF instructions, so you can watch those if you want. The easiest way for me is on my desktop for Windows. It will automatically populate on there with the file name extension. And so all you have to do is take off this extra G. It will give you this warning. It says if you change a file name extension, the file might become unusable. Are you sure you want to change it? Yes, sir, we do. And then now that's all you have to do to kind of do this weird workaround. So that's it. So that's why I'm sharing that screen with you. I do have the link, like I said, to the Mac instructions. I don't use the Mac, so I don't know, but it seemed pretty straightforward. Same as this. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing this guy real quick. And close here. Alrighty, so your instruction was perfectly already uploaded to Design Space. Yay, that's awesome. That makes me so happy, Kimberly. All right, so I'm going to turn my little video off here so that I can focus in on this owl number here. Oh, now I'm wondering if my mic is going to work. I hope so. We'll give it a try. Okay, so this is the little guy that I made using the just a little clip art that I found in Canva, and we uploaded him into Cricut Design Space, and then I cut him out on the Explore Air. I wanted to use Explore Air because I know a lot of you were concerned about whether or not you could cut fabric, and these are these iron-on patches like this, and they cut out great. There was absolutely no problem at all with that. And I just added a little bit of wonky stitching around the edge just to make it look like I sewed him on, but I really just glued it. And so this is just a little place where I can put all of my sewing clips. So just a fun little project, super easy. But we can also do things with this same little fella. We can make him into a cupcake topper. Pretend this is a cupcake. And just put two versions of him back to back. And a little sucker holder. And I feel like I'm on QVC. Let's see. And this is something that I really think a lot of you will like doing. This is Printable Htv, printable heat transfer vinyl. And so I printed him out and then used Cricut to cut, and you can see exactly how crisp and clean those lines are. Let me show you what it looks like, the negative space that I cut him out from. So this is that heat transfer vinyl, and this is that black box that I told you would print out. And then there's a function called bleed. You lead bleed on, and then that just means that the Cricut comes just inside that color outline and cuts them out so that there isn't any white space left. And then this guy here is the Cupcake Topper, same thing, but this is sticker paper. And then these are those patches. So you can see how clean they cut from the patches. The eyes and then the pupils. Okay, and my end goal, my ultimate goal is that you will be able to cut things like this Lynn's Handmade Purse Pal, or this one's the Pocket Pal, and be able to get these super crisp lines. And again, this was cut on my Explore Air using the fine point blade. It would look identical if we were to use the Cricut Maker. All righty. So for this project, I'm going to spend the majority of our time talking about the design space, the on-screen function, and less about constructing the little guy because he's pretty self-explanatory. but I want to show you. So this one I left the wings off so that you could see better. And let me make sure we get the right camera angle. So those tabs are what we're using as anchor points. So the main trick is that you need to make sure that the sides line up with the body, not the wings, because the wings come out like this and it will get wonky if you do that. So it needs to be just lined up with the body part. And then this one will fold in. You'll apply your glue right here and fold him in, and then you'll have a box. That's it. Super easy. Hello, Rose. Nice to see you. All right. So the glue that I'm using, this is from Dollar Tree and it's from Beacon. It's an excellent glue. It dries very, very quick and it works great for cork and cardstock and things like that. And at $1, you can't really beat it. It's an excellent glue. Some other things that you may need is contact paper or transfer paper. If you're using the adhesive vinyl, you'll want to be able to take it off of the backing and then pick it up and lay it down onto your project. And this is the product that helps you. There are all kinds of different brands of this. I like the contact paper, which is clear. You can even use lint rollers. You can use the sheets from lint rollers and you can transfer your vinyl using these. So something that I had just found out recently. I am going to get into the Cricut Design Space, but I want to go over all this stuff before I forget. Let's see. The tools, the maps that you're going to want to use are listed in the instructions, the PDF instructions. This one, I've got the light grip, and this is the cardstock. I'm also going to be showing you tonight the standard grip and the strong grip. You really want to pay attention to what it says here and worry less about the color, because each brand of mat has a different color. So really just focus on what it says here. Okay. All right. Get my chair back over here. Okay, I'm going to turn the video off here. And hi, Cindy. Hi, Madeline. All right. And let's see if I can't share my screen. Okie dokie. And I'm going to stop my video so you can see as much of the screen as possible. So I'll see you in just a few minutes. Okay, so in the Cricut or the Charming Sheet chat room, I have this, oops, hold on, I've lost my own video here. Hold on just a sec. Oh, there we go. Okay, I've uploaded this PDF document and it's in the Charming Sheet chat room files. Hi, Gail, and that's the only way that I have to share these kinds of files with you. I've explained that before. And the first thing we need to do is to get the SGV file. And if you've tuned in late, I have instructions about renaming it, the extension at the beginning of this video. It's also here in the files. So we need to click here to download the file. And if you click on it, it will pop right up. You don't need to worry about navigating and going to look for it. But if you do want to look for it, there's a Files tab here at the top of the group, and that's where all of the content is shared. I'm simply going to click here, and then it's going to start the download. If I click on this icon after it downloads, say that it's opening. And it's going to come down here into my downloads folder. You'll want to pay attention to where your downloads are located on your computer. Normally it goes here into your downloads folder, but if you've done some customizing, you may have it going somewhere else. Okie dokie. Let me go to my own instructions here. So after we download it, if you don't have the option here, you'll need to go somewhere else to do this. But right now I do have this option. So I'm renaming it to .svg. I do want to change it. Okay, perfect. You will likely not be able to preview this because a lot of computer programs don't see SVG files. So if you can't preview this, if it shows a wonky icon, don't worry about it. You'll be able to see it in Cricut Design Space. Also in the Files tab of the group is the PDF instructions that I'm going to be going through tonight. Okay, so let's get Cricut fired up here. Here we are. And so we want to open Cricut Design Space, and then from home, we want to choose a new project. So we're going to come and scroll down, and then here's new project. I will be checking in on with you guys to see if you have questions as we go along. So here we are in a blank screen, and now we need to choose upload. We're going to find that file that we just downloaded. So we're going to go to upload image, clicking browse, and then to our downloads. Double click. I want to rename it. Guys, so that if you see those comments that have the .tech or a dot in them, those are a virus. So Megan Garrison, not nice. Guys, don't click on that comment, ignore it. Okay, so let's see. So from, there's nothing I can do about it right now to make it go away, but don't click on that. Pretty sure her name's not Megan Garrison, by the way. I'm going to rename this. Cute owl, I believe. Yep. And then say upload. I'm going to look and see if I can mute this person real quick. Yep, I did. All right. Okay, let me go back into here. Let's see. Click upload, upload image, cute owl. Click upload. All right. So now I want to go back to my canvas, and this is an extra step that I have built into here. There's a quicker way to do this, but I want you to see how to go back and find this. And the instructions kind of mention that as well. So this is my hamburger icon, this little 3 stacks here. It's called the hamburger icon. So you click here, and I'm going to click on canvas. And then this just brings me back to that blank space. Now I want to go ahead and choose upload, because this is where all of our uploaded files will be, even though they are in fact an image. They are not here in images. So I'm going to click on our owl and then add to canvas. Okay. Now, the next step that I'm teaching you is saving your work. Okay, so we're going to choose save. And then I'm going to save it as Owlbox. And then save. Okay, and now it tells me that my project was saved successfully. And we're going, this is built in throughout the instructions, because one of the worst things that can happen is that you don't save and you lose your work. Unlike a lot of other programs, when you go to shut down Cricut, the only warning it gives you is, are you sure you want to quit? It doesn't say, if you quit, you're going to lose your work. So something to keep in mind. All right, the next function I'm demonstrating is selecting, grouping, ungrouping, and attaching. All right, so I'm going to move him over here just so that you can see him better. So it says that your owl should come in and remain selected with a box all around him, and that's what's happened. And we know that he's selected because we can see that over here in the layers panel, he's dark gray. If I click off of him, these go lighter. And then when he's selected, he has these 4 controls on each corner. So from the layers panel, I'm going to choose ungroup. And then holding down the shift key, I'm going to select this foot and then this foot. Holding down the shift key and then clicking is how we select multiple objects. And I'm trying to do this step by step rather than just doing it from knowing how to do it. So now I'm going to right click and choose attach. And in the same way, I'm going to do the same thing with the 2 wings. It's important that you don't move them so that they're aligned properly. So I'm going to right click and choose attach. Okay. Oh, I meant to say in the layers panel, I choose attach, which was down here. So sorry, be sure to follow the PDF. All right, now we're going to use a different function to select multiple objects at once, and that's holding down the left button of our mouse and dragging across. And I'm not dragging anywhere near those feet because I don't want to select them. I just want the owl. When the owl is selected, release the left mouse button, and then in the layers panel, choose group. So that's what we're doing up here. The next kind of element that I want to teach you about is aligning and arranging. So with the owl selected, we're going to hold down that shift key and we're going to select the feet now. And then we're going to choose align and then center. Center horizontally. Okay. And then we're going to choose align and align bottom. It says center body in the instructions. It should have said align bottom. Sorry about that. Now we want to click anywhere outside of the owl so that we can select just this part and not the feet as well. And now we're going to choose arrange and then send to back. And then now that brought our little feet back up onto the belly. Okay, so we're going to use our drag technique and select the entire thing again. And then we're going to right click and choose group. And just to make sure that I've shown you again, it's also up here, the group and ungroup. And then the attach is available by right clicking or also down here. Okay, so we're going to move this little guy over so we can see him better. And the next kind of element that I'm going to go over is resizing and toggling the aspect ratio, the lock aspect ratio on and off. So with him selected, we're going to drag this bottom button and we're going to increase his size by about 5.5 inches tall. And it's kind of hard to get exactly right. If you get off of him, just click him again. So it's hard to get the exact number in here, but that's okay because we have a plan for that. So now we're going to unlock this aspect ratio down here. This is that little lock icon. And now we can come up here into his width and we can make him 5.0 and then in the height 5.0. So he's going to be a little square fella. All right, and then this padlock is the exact same thing as down here. So when I click this and toggle it on and off, I want to draw your attention to how the buttons change here. So if we look right here, this changes from just being a diagonal option to being able to move him 4 different directions. That's what that arrow means. And then it also changes this icon down here. When we're done toggling this and seeing how it works, we want to have him locked when we leave him. Now we want to save our project again. And the next thing that we're going to be talking about is duplicating objects. So with our owl still selected, we're going to choose duplicate from our layers panel. I noticed that in the playback of the video from the other day that sometimes my mouse movements were not getting picked up on the far right part of this layer. So if you see these eyes, this is what I'm talking about when we're going to be hiding him. And if for some reason you can't see my mouse movements up here on the far right, just refer to the instructions or ask a question on here and I'll answer. All right, so we want to move him. We want to move this guy way off to the side over here. He's our emergency owl and we're going to use him in case we mess up later. So we want to go back to the first owl and click on him. We want to right click and choose ungroup. And that first time that we ungrouped him, that just removed the feet from the group. So we want to right click him again and choose ungroup again. Now this separated the wings and all of the other little bits. So these are all separate now. Okay, so now with the wings selected, we want to right click and choose copy. And then right click and choose paste. That's just another way of doing duplicate or duplicate. All right, now we want to learn how to change an object's color. And to do that, we come over here under basic operation, and we're going to click the color swatch, and we're going to change the wings to pink. Is everybody with me so far? I'm going to keep talking, but I'll keep my eye on the chat pane in case there's some questions. So the next element that we're going to talk about is hiding an object. So we're going to move these teal wings over here by this guy, and we're going to hide them by clicking the eye in the panel. So if you can't see what my mouse function right here, I'm going to get as close as I can over here. I'm leading the way. I'll drop off, but I'm going to click this little eye, and then our wings are going to disappear. They're still here in our panel and we can see them, but we've just got the eye hidden. Okay, Kimberly, thank you. Susan, I'm not sure if I said hello, but hi, it's nice to see you in here. Okay. Alrighty. So now we want to select our emergency owl. So we're going to click on him here. And then we are going to choose arrange, and we're going to send him back. And this will put, now I want you to watch, because right now we have him selected here. And if I come up to the layers panel, hold on just a second. So if I click him here on the layers panel, he's kind of up here towards the top. I'm going to choose arrange and then send him back, and it's going to drop him all the way down at the end of the layers panel now. That will help you navigate if you have some items that look pretty similar to each other. All right. Now we're going to go down to our emergency owl, and we're going to hide him. So I'm clicking this eye over here, and then I'm also going to collapse him by clicking this down arrow. And now that's going to collapse all of those individual layers down. It does pop back open often. I don't know why it's doing that, but it does. So don't worry if it happens to pop back open. Hopefully they'll get that fixed. All right, now we're going to be focusing on working with layers. So back at our original owl, we're going to hold down the shift key, and we're going to click on the beak and the feet. We're going to right click, and we're going to choose attach. We're going to move this off to the side. And now we're going to weld. The next element that we're going to work on is welding objects, layers to create a new object. So we're going to click on the pink body, and we're going to move it to the right of the eyes, just over here out of the way. We're going to, oh, sorry, missed the step. Hold on, let's get this guy back here again. I'm going to come down. We're going to get these wings, and we're going to align them just by dragging. There's no secret recipe here, but it looks right here. Obviously, this way it doesn't look right, and this way it's too high, unless you want an owl that's shrugging his shoulders. So this looks about right to me. There's no wrong answer, really. Now we're going to select the body and the wings. And from the layers panel, we're going to choose weld. And now we have our little body. Next thing I want to talk to you about is zoom controls. So over here, I don't know if the mouse is going to grab it or not. I'm going to move my little owl over here. Hopefully that will help. So you can see where that zoom kind of shadow is. We're going to change this, and we're going to increase it to 250% by clicking on the up arrow, so we can really get in close with these eyes. I'm going to move this guy out of my way. And now using the mouse drag technique, we're going to select all the layers of the eye. And if you haven't taken a look at the PDF, I'm literally reading along as I'm doing each of these steps. So this is all in the PDF. You don't have to remember this. So I've selected the left eye, and now on my keyboard, I'm hitting the delete key. We could have also come up here to the layers panel and clicked delete at the top right. We could have clicked the delete box right here, just a different way about to do the same thing. I'm going to move this guy down. Hold on. Let's move him up. Okay. So now we want to click the larger of the two white circles. So this is the small white circle, and this is the large one. We're going to click on the large one. And I want to hide it because I want to keep it safe while I mess around here. Now I want to click on the smaller white circle, And I want to drag it until it's approximately 0.33 high. So just dragging diagonal. Okay. Doesn't have to be exact. So 0.338 by 0.336, pretty much a perfect circle. The next element that we're going to talk about is inserting a shape. So we're going to come over here to shape, and we're going to insert a circle. If you hover over the shapes, it will tell you what the name of the shape is. We need to change the color to white. And then now we need to resize it. So instead of dragging this time, in the W box, I'm going to enter 0.15. And now I'm going to move it to the bottom left of this bigger white circle, just to where I like it. Because I'm just making the kind of glare, just a little bit of a cuter shape. That's the purpose of this. I'm going to hold down my Shift key and select both of these circles, holding down Shift while I click. And now I'm going to choose Weld. Okay, now we've got that new shape. The next element we're going to talk about is learning to slice. So we're going to select the white eye shape and the black circle together. I'm going to use that drag technique that time. I'm going to choose Align and then Center horizontally. Now I want to say Align and then Align right. Now I like how that looks, and I'm going to choose Slice. I'm going to move this black bit right over here to the left. And now I'm going to delete. I'm going to select all of these little leftover bits and hit delete. The reason that I don't need those little bits is because we're going to lay this black pupil on top of our large white circle, and then it's going to make it look like it's a layered eye. It's just kind of so that we don't have to then fuss with lining up an extra white layer on top of the black. This is just kind of a little cheat that I built in. All right, now we want to save our project again. The instructions tell us this. And now I need to unhide that white eye. There it is, popped back up on the screen. Again, the unhide function is in the layers panel. So now we're going to take this guy and we're going to drag him over here. And you get to decide where the pupil goes. Is your owl looking up diagonally to the left or to the right, or is he looking down? Is he cross-eyed? Whatever you decide. Okay, we're going to demonstrate the rotate function now using this top right button. So this is how we can rotate a shape. We're going to rotate it until it fits nicely within our white circle. Okay. Now we're going to select both of these. And I can see that that needs to be rotated just a little bit more, maybe brought over just a touch. Okay, perfect. I'm going to select them both. And then I'm going to right click and say group. I'm not doing attach or weld because then that would change, it would change everything to white. So we're using group. Now I'm going to right click and choose duplicate because our owl needs two eyes. And then let's go ahead and reduce the zoom to 100%. If I click on the number, it will snap down to 100%. I don't need to click the minus arrows. Now we need to select the beak, the feet, and the pink body. And I need to choose Align and then Center horizontally. And now I want to choose Align and Align bottom. If your beak is behind the body, and ours is right now, we want to select just the body. So we have to click over here and then select just the body and then arrange and send to back. And now there's our feet and our beak. All right, so now I'm going to be demonstrating the undo function. So I'm going to move this guy up so you can see him. Okay, so I'm going to need to drag the eyes one at a time on either side of the beak. Well, about right there. Looks good. Now I want to select both eyes by holding down the Shift key and I'm clicking on them. And then I'm going to choose align top. And then I want to use drag the mouse to select everything. So all of these guys. And now I'm going to choose align and center horizontally. Oops. We got an owl cyclops, dang it. Well, this would be super cute if we were making a monster, but we're not. So we're going to use our undo button. So we're going to click in here and choose undo. I figured of all the mistakes I could build into this project, that one was the most tame. Now we're going to save our project. Now we want to choose both eyes and then group them. The reason why they did the Cyclops thing on us is because we didn't have them grouped together. The grouping maintains the distance between them so that they had space for the beak. Okay, now we're going to select our entire friend here, and we're going to say align, center horizontally. And now I want to select the eyes and the feet beak. Because the beak and the feet are grouped together, if I select one, it selects them all. So I'm going to right click and choose group. And then I'm going to move these guys off to the right of the body. And I want to ungroup them. Oops, hold on. Okay, I want to select the left eye and ungroup. I'm going to move these guys out of the way. And I want to repeat with the right eye. Okay. Now I want to select just the white parts by Shift click and choose attach. And then arrange and send to back. And then the black pupil, selecting them, attach. And then we're going to select, oops, we're going to drag our mouse, select the eyes only, and then group. And now we're going to hide them. Okay, so now I want to show you how to position an object using the XY axis up here. Mary Fowler, we see you. Also let's see, report for unwanted commercial content or spam. Okay, awesome. So again, guys, don't click on anybody's comment that has a dot in it. All right, so now we want to, where were we? Repeat with awareness, select the back, position an object. Okay, so up here on the toolbar, the last little set of boxes here is position. So we're going to select the beak and we're going to enter 1.0 in the X axis and 1.0 in the Y axis. Okay, and then now if we come over here to the top, this little guy, that's where his position is. Now we're going to select him and hide. All right, so now the element that I'm teaching you is flipping an object. So we have our owl selected. We're going to right click and duplicate. And with the duplicated body selected, we're going to choose flip from the toolbar and then flip vertical. So now he's upside down. We're going to select both and we're going to align and center horizontally. Is it a sign of success if I have trolls coming on YouTube? I don't know. All right. So now we're going to click off of here, just click our upside down guy. And I'm using the arrows on my keyboard now just to move him straight down. This is just another way you could move him. All right, now we need to go into insert shape. So shapes, and then we're going to choose this rounded rectangle. Click. It's going to populate on our canvas. We're going to change the color to pink. We're going to unlock the padlock so that we can make him longer than he is wide. So in the width box, we're going to enter 9.5. And in the height box, we're going to do 1.5. Okay, and now we're going to move him so it's roughly in the gap between the two bodies. Does not matter how far apart they are right now. We're going to fix that. Okay, so the next element I'm going to show you is aligning using the distribute function. So we're going to take this rectangle and arrange and send it to the back so that now we can see how our bodies overlap. We're going to take the upper fella here and we're going to bring him down just until the wings touch the top of the rectangle here. Again, if you need to zoom in so you can see, that's okay. And they're just barely touching. Okay, so we need to select both the bodies and the rectangle. So dragging. And did you notice that I don't have to drag them all? I just have to get the mouse somewhere close. And as long as the mouse touches each of these, it grabs the whole thing. Now we're going to align and center horizontally. And then align and distribute vertically. So this means that it's going to split the difference between these three bodies and moves that rectangle in between so that the rectangle cuts into the bottom of the owls at the exact same distance. Now we want to weld the bodies and the rectangle and make a new shape. And now we're going to choose save and save. Now we want to insert a shape again, and we're going to choose this half circle. We want to enter in the width box, the W box, 0.35, and hit enter. And the next feature I'm going to be showing you is rotating the value, or rotating the object using the rotate box. So we're going to enter a value of 90 because I want it to be 90 degrees. And this is the same thing as using this drag. It's just that you're able to get a more precise angle by entering that in the value or in the box. The next element I'm going to be showing you is how we can create a really quick repetitive object by doing it once and then duplicating. So we are going to duplicate this half circle twice so that we have a total of 3 circles. So I'm going to just hit the duplicate button in the panel. I want to have, I'm going to bring these down. Oops. I'm going to bring them down around here. Okay, this one, and I'm going to increase the zoom here so I can see them. This one needs to come right here under the wing. And this one, it doesn't matter what you do with this one. Sorry, I shouldn't have moved that. And then this one, I want to position him just before the curve starts to happen here. Turn the page. So now we want to select all 3 and choose align top. And then this time we're doing that same distribute, but this time we're doing distribute horizontally. So now they're going to be evenly spaced all the way across this area here. And now we want to weld them together, but only the half circles, not the owl. I'm going to do undo real quick. And if you had accidentally welded all of these guys together, you would again hit undo. The reason why is right now it's not in the right position. It's now welded this here to create one shape and it's just a mess. So I'm going to click the undo or Control Z on my keyboard and now just select these half circles and weld them. Okay, so we don't want to have to go through that again for the 3 half circles over here, and again for the 3 half circles over here and over here. So now we've done the work once, and we're going to duplicate this 3 times so that we have 4 sets. And we're going to select 2 of the sets, and then we're going to rotate them 180 degrees so they're upside down. Now we need to arrange them so that there's a kind of this half circle, these little scallops in each quadrant. So the upside down ones come over here. And the instructions don't talk about changing the zoom, but feel free to do that whenever it helps you see better. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're not hitting the wing, that we're really close to this curve of the body, and that we are down into the rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to select both of these at the top. Well, I'm looking at my instructions and again, trying not to go from memory. So select both of these on the right-hand side, and I'm going to choose align and center horizontally. And now they're exactly the same lined up. I'm going to repeat with the left side. Those guys are lined up. Now I'm going to choose the 2 bottom circles, half circles, and choose align and then align top. And then these 2, align and align bottom. Oh, and I forgot to group the other set. So let me grab these guys and group them. Okay. So now I want to select all of this, the owl and the half circles. And now I want to align these horizontally. So I'm going to choose align and center horizontally. Perfect. So when that happened just now on this mouse or this owl, I don't really love what happened because now there's a bigger gap over here for whatever reason. I'm going to hit undo. I like this. So for some reason with whatever I've done in here tonight, mathematically it's centered when it was further with this guy over here to the left. I don't like that. I like visually how it looks like this. So I'm going to keep it like this. Okay, now we're going to select everybody. And we're going to weld. And I want you to notice what happens to the color when we select weld. Okay, all of that changes to pink. Perfect. Okay, so now we want to duplicate this guy. Duplicate, and I'm going to change this guy to green. And I want to hide the duplicate. And save our work. Now we're going to close the program down. Make sure we save first and you get this confirmation that it's saved. And we're going to close Design Space and say quit. Okay, so now we're going to fire Cricut back up again. And then here on the top is My Projects. We're going to click that, and then we're going to choose Owlbox. And we're going to choose Customize. If we were coming back to a project that was done prior to this and we were like making another one that we've already set up, then we could just choose Make It and we'd go right to the mats and we'd start cutting. So you wouldn't have to do any kind of arranging again. But this time we're going to choose Customize. And it's going to bring us back to our canvas. Now we need to unhide those objects. So we're going to unhide the eyes. We're going to unhide the feet and beak and the wings. We will know if we have everybody unhidden if we check the color sync panel. Excuse me, I'm getting hiccups. This is our color sync panel, and I'm not sure if you could see where I clicked or not because of the mouse disappearing, but it's to the right of the layers at the top of the tab. And this shows us what our mats look like. We have 2 objects printing out on green, 3 in yellow, 2 white, so on. If we wanted to change the color of the wings to pink, we could just drag them down here and that would make them pink. Don't want them pink, so I'm going to hit undo. So there's that. If you see more than what's on here, then something isn't hidden that should be. But if you see less than this, you either have left an object hidden or you deleted it. But we do need to unhide our green owl. So let's go back to that layers panel and unhide our owl. And now let's check on color sync again. And now our green owl shows up. Let's save our work. And let's go back to our emergency owl. And just so we can demonstrate the flatten technique, let's come all the way down to the bottom because he was put to the back. We know that he's hanging out here at the bottom. We're going to unhide. I'm going to select him by clicking on this, and it will snap the canvas right over to where he's at. So by clicking on him, it brings the view of the canvas over. And now we want to choose flatten. When we flattened him, I'm going to pull over here so you can see he no longer has these black outlines. And if you remember what he looked like on that HTV that I had ironed onto that fabric, he didn't have any black outlines. So now he's a print and cut. And it tells us that up here, that he is a print and cut. So those are all of the features in the control panel with the exception of contour. We've gone over all of the features at the top of the layers panel and in color sync. If we look up here, we have gone over undo, all of these buttons all the way across the board. We've talked about what each of those functions are. We've talked about upload and shapes. And I think we've made a pretty good dent in your beginner status. So I think that you're going to be able to excel and get this guy done on Cricut Design Space exactly as I did here. I am going to hide him. And now we need to talk about making it. Okay, so remember, it doesn't matter whether or not we have our spaces or our shapes kind of jumbled up on the canvas, but that's okay. They can be. So now we're going to talk about Explore settings for Explore Air 2. I'm going to cut this guy out on the cardstock, and let me see here. Before I do this, does anybody have questions? Wait just a second to see if we've got any questions. Okay, so then I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you briefly how to do the cutting out with Cricut Explore Air using cardstock. I'm going to choose, first of all, I have both the Explorer and the Maker, so I need to make sure that I have my correct machine selected up here. So I want Cricut Explore Family and then choose Make It. It's going to show me that I need a mat for white, black, yellow, green, blue, and pink. Okay. I'm going to choose Continue. It's connected by Bluetooth. And I have it turned on, so it should see it in just a second. It's got it. Nikki, thank you. Okay. Now my dial is set right now to iron on, and I don't want to use iron on, so I'm going to change that. And I've got the, in the PDF instructions, it gives you a setting for matte, dial, and mirror. And for this guy, I recommend that you are using the fine point blade and clamp B. I've already got that part set up. Let me fire up my camera for the phone. Go back and make sure that you all can see what I'm saying. Okay, give me just a second. Making these zoom controls. Okay. So I think that you can see it on YouTube. Okay, you can. Perfect. Okay. So now I'm going to change my dial over here to cardstock. And I'm going to, there's a button, there's a little setting that's in between cardstock and bonded fabric, and that's the one I want to use. And so as I change those on my screen, it's going to tell me that I have switched that dial. Okay. Let me go back to sharing my screen here. Zoom. I feel like I'm reliving the episode 2 all over again. Nikki, thank you. She says she sees my machine. Okay, so I have the, it says that it's set to vinyl. I might need to reconnect this real quick. I'm gonna hit cancel. I want to cancel the cut, yes. I want to choose continue. Well, now my dial is going to be empty. Let me turn this guy off real quick. Turn it back on. I'm going to cancel the cut. I'm going to cancel all the way and go back here. I'm going to choose make it. I've got that dial set to cardstock. Why it says vinyl, I don't know. Maybe because I have it on that middle line. Let's just go with it. All right, so it says no tool required in clamp A. So Divine Goth, I'm not sure what your real name is if it's Divine Goth, lovely. And she says that, or they say that they're in a totally different time zone. So don't worry, it's no problem at all. It'll be recorded so you can come back in and watch from the beginning later. Although this might put you to sleep, so it might be good. All right, so we've got the fine point blade loaded in clamp B, and now we need to load our mat and press the load unload button. Okay, so let me go back to sharing. Camera, Charming Sheet Cam. I've already prepped a mat for each of the colors. And I used the light grip mat for this kind of thin cardstock. I'm laying it here and I'm going to choose the load button. I also want to mention I have put this little base here because otherwise the mat had a tendency to get stuck on the rim of this here on the front and the back. So I've just kind of elevated a little bit. Do be mindful of how your mat is going to operate when it goes in and out. And now the next thing, all I need to do is click the cut button. Okay, it wants me to unload it, but before I unload, again, I want to make sure that we have cut all the way through the material. So I'm going to just look at the corner of it here. It's harder to do when it's at the top corner. And it didn't cut all the way through. So I'm going to press this back down and I'm going to choose cut again. In my opinion, it's better to have your cut not go all the way through the first time and have to repeat this function rather than have too much pressure and have it cut through your mats and ruin them. I think this way is better than a more aggressive approach. Okay, still not cut all the way through. It's close, but not all the way through. So one more time. If we were to unload our mat and then try this again, it most likely won't work because it will be a slightly different position. Okay, and there we go. So now they're cut through, basically. I'm gonna unload, and then here is our cut. I might need to change my blade. It's been in there a while. Okay, so essentially we would just do that same thing. Let me go back to our screen. Okay, and so the next thing it did is it went on now to the next mat, which is the black. I'm going to do the pink just so that we can see the bigger object cut. And I am going to turn the style to custom. And because I set it to custom, it says, well, what kind of custom thing are you cutting out? And I am going to tell it that I am cutting glitter. I'm going to search glitter cardstock, and then choose done. Going to grab my mat, load it. And I'm not going to switch. Well, I guess I could. Hold on just a sec. That is an IKEA. Oh, Kimberly's right. It is a IKEA pegboard. I haven't put it up on my wall yet. And then now we're going to choose cut. So at the beginning of this video, if you were not watching at the beginning, I do show you how to fold and attach the sides of the owl to make him into the box. We are closing in on an hour here, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. So you would proceed with cutting out each of the elements and then ironing them on according to the package directions of either the patches or the heat transfer vinyl. Or if it was adhesive vinyl, just taking it off and sticking it onto the owl. I do think that is kind of self-explanatory. If it isn't, we can do another live next weekend where I show you how to put it together. And no one, I mean, you don't all have to join, but you can. Is that something y'all would be interested in, or do you think you've got it from here? Checking the cut. And that time it did go through, so I'm going to unload. Oh, I should have mentioned, we want to turn the mat over and we want to bend the mat, not the paper. And that will prevent your paper from curling. There we have our owl. And then this is where you would fold it. The reason why we had the green owl is because if you're using cork or vinyl, you might want to use a piece of interfacing to give your project structure. But if we're using the cardstock, they do have a scoring blade, and you could build in score lines here, which would give you a cleaner box, but that's not beginner, and that's an extra expense. And really, I don't think we need it. So we would just fold these little tabs. And glue them. Aligning it with our body, not the wings. And then just placing the feet and the beak and the eyes where you want them. And that's it. Kimberly is asking if she somehow missed the construction. No, I didn't show you the construction, but I can if you all want me to. I kind of demonstrated at the beginning how we glued it in place using that fabric tack. Let's just do it real quick. Okay, so here's that adhesive. And I'm just going to apply it here. And it's the exact same thing, even if you're using the cork. And this isn't going to dry in time for me to have, show you what the finished one is here that we're working on together. If this sticks up more than you would like it to, you can just, the reason why I had it aligned here is that you can fold this in. Very hard to do up in the air. You can fold this in, and then it will give you a little, and glue it, and then it will give you a little finished edge here. Okay, so we're going to do that, and then the eyes. What did I do with the eyes? Guys, it's like been 2 seconds and I already lost my eyeballs. Okay, Nikki says she's going to have to help her 12-year-old do this, but after Christmas. Oh, and Divine Goth says it's going to be cute. Thank you. Okay, well, I lost my eyes, so I can't walk you through exactly how to do this project. So hold on. Let me shut off the Charming Sheet cam. And hi. Okay, I'm back. All right, so I'm not going to walk you through it. You basically, you just iron these little guys on here and iron these on because these were patches. Same thing with this. And then you've got it done and you got it made. We can do it. Okay, so Kimberly says she wouldn't mind a quick video of your cork patch version with the stitching. I can absolutely do that. I will do that. Do we want that live? I don't know. What do you guys think of the live thing? I think it's kind of fun because I like to actually have interaction from you all rather than talking to the computer screen by myself. That darn delay waiting for responses. Okay, Kimberly says that's enough of an idea to see how it goes. Okay. Let me see. I took notes so I can make sure I talk to about everything. Okay, so we talked about the Charming Sheet chat room, but also that's where you can, that's where you go to enter the bundle that's back there. So that is, the entries have already started. The rules are very specific. You can't change the rules because that's illegal. So you make sure that you read the rules first before you enter. There's no strings attached. I'm not selling anything. I am not giving away your information. If you win, you'll need to give me your mailing address by the deadline so that I can send you the item. And that's it. And we're done. That's all that it's there for. This is the end of our Cricut for Beginners series, like the very fundamentals. After this, we're going to go on to other things. So I will do more lives when we create other big projects, just because I think that it's fun and I like seeing you all. So we will be doing more of those. And if there is something specific you would like me to go over and make with you in a live session, we can break it up like we did this one and do a couple of series. Do let me know, either commenting to this video or logging into Charming Sheet chat room. And finally, I want to say thank you so much for all your support. You guys, I started this channel thinking that it would take me a year to get where I'm at now. I am blown away by the amount of support that I've had from the community, other YouTube content creators, and each of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you for logging in, for subscribing, for asking me questions, for giving me feedback, and for putting up with my amateur level of content creating. I know that my audio has been terrible sometimes and my lighting is weird. I really appreciate it. And it just means the world. So thank you so much. And I will be seeing you all soon. If you have additional questions, you know where to find me. Thank you for sticking with me for all 4 sessions. All right, friends, I'll be seeing you soon. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Oh, Darling says you are awesome. Thanks, Darling. Okay, so now I gotta awkwardly like transition into, I don't know how to end this meeting. How do I end this? Hold on, I said goodbye and then I wasn't ready. Remember when I was talking about amateur hour? Okay, I see